guys. We are here live today with questions asked number 76. Guys, today we have a question at the top of the key. How can I get more broker price opinion work? That is the question at the top of the key. Again, for those of you who don't know me, I am Angela Cooper. I am a business coach. I help real estate agents increase their income while waiting on buyers and sellers to close. You guys know that that can be a challenge, right? So for those of you who are visiting live today on Facebook, go ahead and like the page. If you're watching here on YouTube, this is where we come every couple of weeks to give up the goods on broker price opinions. Okay, that's one facet of real estate. It's just a little niche hiding over there in the corner that we use to create income on a part-time basis, but we use it to create a full-time income. Okay, so if you're visiting after the fact, go ahead and hashtag replay. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday week with Thanksgiving now and Black Friday. Oh my goodness, we had a lot of students to join BPO Mastery during Black Friday, the Black Friday event, and the Monday event, okay, Cyber Monday. Okay, so welcome to all the new students out there that started BPO Mastery. I looked in the back office. I saw some of you had already finished more than 50% of the course, so kudos to you. And so we're going to get this question answered for you today. How can I get more BPO work? So first of all, if you have not watched the free webinar, The Power of BPOs, go ahead and watch that webinar. At the end of the webinar, guys, I give you a free list of like 10 companies that you can apply with to get your BPO business up and running, okay? Of course, you get more phone numbers and contact emails and all of that when you get the BPO Mastery course. But, really, guys, you can just Google, broker price opinion companies, and you just have to do a search, extensive search over the internet and find different companies. We have compiled a list for you so that you don't have to do all of that searching. But go ahead and check out the free webinar, The Power of BPOs, okay? The Power of Broker Price Opinions, and get that list from there. Actually, I'm going to also try and drop a few more, maybe 5, okay? I'm going to give you an extra 5 companies tonight. For those of you who are watching, I'm giving you an extra 5 companies tonight. You can just go to those different companies and apply. So here's the key. The more companies you apply with, the more chances are that you're going to get work, okay? Also, if you apply with a company and they don't answer you, you have to do your follow-up. The fortune, okay, the fortune is in the follow-up. If you don't follow up, guys, then you're being not real aggressive about growing your business, then you're not going to get a lot of business, okay? The fortune is in the follow-up. All you have to do is send an email to those companies and say, hey, listen, I applied with your company a couple of days ago to get started with broker price opinion, whatever you want to say. Don't tell them you're a new real estate agent. Scratch. Just say I'm a real estate agent and I want to do BPOs for your company. I did my application and I do not have a login yet. How can I get a login to do business with your company? Simple. Just the less you say is more, right? Okay, so, and then from there, they will send you a login, or they'll either say, we're not in your area, or, we'll take a look at it, whatever the case may be, they're going to answer you. A lot of times you're applying for companies that are not in your area. That's why I tell everybody, hey, make sure that you're applying for more than, 10 to 15 companies, because you definitely want to get accepted by a minimum of five. So I always say 10 to get in, five to stay alive, okay? So make sure that you get accepted for five different companies. And then from there, you have to learn how to keep your BPO score up high, okay? So the next question is, what is a scorecard? I almost just said credit score, but it's a scorecard. What is a scorecard and how can I get one? So a scorecard is when you establish a report, a 90-day, sometimes it's 30 days. A lot of them do 30-day review of your performance, okay? And they send you out a scorecard. They may tell you you had X number of BPOs this month. We had five quality control issues. You turned in two of them late, and or you turned in all of them 100% on time. All of that plays a part in your performance, and it creates what is called a scorecard. Okay, so you definitely want to have a scorecard so that you could be in front of the line. Have you ever wanted to go to a restaurant and be in the line before you get in the line, and you click on their app and you say, I'm waiting in line. Okay, so when you get your scorecard, you're waiting in line to get the work first. Okay, especially if you get a really good scorecard and you request to be a preferred vendor. Now you're in a separate pool from everybody, from your peers, okay? So your scorecard is going to determine who gets the order first. If it's somebody with a high score, maybe a 99, and there's somebody a 95, the 99 is going to get the BPO before the 95. You're in the same zip code, okay? And it goes by whatever zip code you're competing in. Like, for example, I particularly have like about 20 zip codes that I service within a 15-mile radius, okay? So if I'm not getting a lot of work in this particular zip code, I'm going to go to the vendor management email and say, I haven't been getting any work in this particular zip code. What is my rank? What is my peer rank? And they might say, well, this is what they told me one time. They say, well, it's 12 agents competing in that zip code, and all of you are running neck to neck with your scores. Your scores are like 97 to 99, okay? So I was competing with 12 people, and I was like, well, where am I? I think she told me I was like 3 or 4 out of the 12, which is not good to me because I should have been number 1, right? I don't know why that particular month. And here's the thing, it changes every month, okay? You may be number 3 this month, and next month you may be number 1. All of the numbers are going in a pouch, if you will, and they pull it based on what your score is, okay? All right, so that's how you get a scorecard. You have to do enough BPOs in a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day period to get that performance review to create your scorecard. I get a scorecard every month from all of my preferred vendors. CCAP, Zone, who is now y'all know have a new name and know I can't pronounce it. RR Review, they send them Protect, they send them faithfully, okay? And also, I think in Protect, well, all of them, actually, you can go and review your own scorecard and just work on whatever. They have a goal. They might say the goal is 5 and you did a 6. Okay, now your effort for next month is to make your performance below a 5. If their goal is a 5 and you're below a 5, okay, then that's going to be good. If you're a 6, that means you need improvement. You see? Or it could be vice versa. But however their scorecard is set up, it'll tell you one is, you know, good or 10 is good. Whichever way it's set up, then measure it based on what your performance is. Okay. But a lot of times they might say something like, the clarifications. How about let's use that? Clear Capital use that verbiage. The clarifications, how many clarifications, what is the goal? They might say the clarification goal is 4. So you might have 7. Say, so now you need to make yours better. So they want 4 or less. They don't want you to have more than 4 clarification requests. How about that? You see? So it depends on what number is best. Is 10 good or is 1 good? You see? So you just have to look at it and you can tell from the way they ask the question which one is good 10 or which one is good number. Go ahead and hashtag replay if you're visiting after the fact. And you can still put your questions in the comment area, even if you're visiting us after the fact. I will come back and answer your questions, okay? All right. So we just did a refresh, retrying to connect. So I'm going to hurry up and try to get through this before the internet shut me down altogether. I don't know what's going on with it, but I even took it off of Wi-Fi. And I know that most of the time Wi-Fi is a problem, but in this case, my LTE on my phone will do quicker than Wi-Fi. Okay, so let's see. What is site influence? The next question, what is site influence? Okay, site influence means what is it in your area that's creating value or devaluing the property? Like site influence can be that your property is located on a main thoroughfare. It might be in a downtown district and it's on a main street, okay? Or it may be in an area where there's a golf course, okay? So you may be on hole number 8, you see? So what is the site influence? It could be a number of things. If you're in an equestrian community, your site influence might be that you're right by the equestrian center. I guess that's how I'm pronouncing it. You know, some communities have it where you can, you know, have ride your horses. They have an equestrian center, if that's what you're going to call it. So you have to decide what is the site influence. Sometimes it could be a negative site influence, could be, you know, near a railroad track, or it could be a beachfront. That's a good positive in most cases. But if your subject property site influence is beachfront property, then they want you to find at least one list and one sold with beachfront property. If your site influence is, I don't know, it's next bumps up to horse stables, you're in a rural area, that subdivision is offering you a horse stables. They want you to pick at least one list and one sold with horse stables. Maybe your subject is on the golf course. Then that's your site influence. They want you to pick one list and one sold that's on the golf course. You understand? Site influence could be a number of things. I'm literally less than 2 minutes from the freeway. One main turn off of my street, and I'm on the freeway. That's a site influence. So they want you to find a property that's also right near the freeway. Jump on and jump off. So the main thing is that you want to make sure you have at least one list and one sold property with the same site influence as your subject. Okay? Any questions on site influence? Site influence is real kind of important too, because it plays a lot in the value of your property. Is your value gonna be, is the site influence gonna increase the value, or is the site influence going to decrease the value of your property. Because if your site influences by a railroad track, sometimes that is a decrease in value unless the railroad track or the rail, unless it's like rail cars and it's providing transportation for the community. You see? Big difference. So, what is site influence? I hope everybody got that. I know that, we had some technical difficulties and the internet was about to crash on me again. So, hopefully, I didn't miss anyone's questions. All right. So, question number 4. How do I find the contact number for my interior BPO? Great question. Most of the time, when the asset management company, Clear Capital, Zone, or Review, whoever, send the instructions, we miss it because we're reading so fast. I like to skim mine really quick, okay? But technically, the phone number is usually on the first line. It's on like the first 2 or 3 lines. That's where the phone number is, okay? The contact information. And you'll be contacting either the homeowner, if it's a mortgage termination insurance request, MTI request, you'll be contacting the homeowner, or you could possibly be contacting a realtor. I don't know, but most of the time it's going to say, interior contact information, and that's the phone number that you're going to call. If you call that, and it's real important that you call that number the first day that you get that report, okay? Because if you don't call that number within 24 hours, what if it's a bad number? What if it's disconnected? And then, that's going to play a part in your score too, because you're not handling your business up front. You need to make sure that you get with quality control. If that number is not good, they need to know about it the very first day. Within 24 hours of receiving that BPO, you should have contacted the homeowner to make your appointment to get interior access. Okay. All right. So if it's a vacant property, also you want to make sure you know whether it's vacant or not. If you're calling a realtor, you ask them when you make that phone call, are you the homeowner or are you a realtor? And they're going to tell you. If it's a realtor, make sure you ask them if the property is vacant. Because if the property is vacant, you might need also a lockbox code or something of that nature. Okay? All right. So just ask the homeowner. If you cannot get in touch with the homeowner, make sure you go back to quality control and request a new number. Now, they may have to put the order on hold for a while until they get the new number, but it doesn't matter. Your time starts when you get the new number and you're able to contact that person. If you're calling that person for 2 days and nobody's answering, and then on the second day or the third day that your report is due, boom, they answer the phone. Okay, you need to ask for an extension. So serious. You need to ask for an extension because it's not your fault that you lost 2 days on doing your report because the homeowner didn't answer the phone or the number was bad. Okay, so make sure you call that number. Look on your form. If you don't have a number at all, then you need to call whatever company it is that issued you that report. One thing I know for sure, you can always call Clear Capital and I want to say Protect and RR Review. Zone, that might be an issue. A lot of times, some of these companies just give you emails to email them. In any case, keep a record of your request because that's going to play a major part on your performance scores, okay? So if you don't have a number at all, go ahead and email them and let them know that you need a number to reach your interior contact. All right. Question number 5. I'm giving y'all a bonus question this week because we didn't do questions asked last week, so I added an additional question. Okay, so we talked about site influence. We talked about finding the contact number. This question is actually a mastery question because, I always say that some of these questions, you need to be a mastery student to even get the answer to the question. Okay? But I'm going to try to answer this question anyway because I had it a couple of times within the last couple of weeks. All right. So the question is, how do I bracket the subject GLA? How do I bracket the subject GLA? Now, I'm going to answer 2 ways. Number one, if you then turn around and ask me, what is GLA? I'm going to suggest that you take the introductory to BPOs or mini mastery, whichever way you remember it listed, because I just changed the name of the course. What is the GLA? Okay, that's the gross living area. We only do BPOs based on the gross living area that's used inside a property. So we are counting the finished above grade square feet. Okay. If you have a property that has a basement and it's unfinished, it can't count in the GLA. If the basement is finished, okay, you can count that in the GLA, but not if it's not living quarters. It has to be living quarters and finished. Okay. All right. So how do I bracket the subject GLA? So I'm answering in 2 parts. You want to make sure that you do not exceed 20 to 25% of your GLA. So if your square footage is 1,000 square feet, then add 25%. It may go up to 1,200, 1,250 is the max you can go up. Down, maybe 800, 750, 800, 850, one of them. Whatever, 25%. Subtract 25% from 1,000 square feet. Okay? Ultimately, the pristine area is 20%. Okay? 20%. They don't want you to go over 20%. If you're in a position where you have a hard to find comp, you might have to go up to 30%. But they would prefer that you stay at 20. Now, if it's a hard to find comp, definitely try not to exceed 30%. I would rather you go out further in distance, even if it's say like if it's a suburban area and it's a duplex, okay, or a condo, and that area is not prone to duplexes or condos. They mostly have single family residents. Then it might be necessary for you to go out 3 miles rather than 2 than to use 1,500 square feet for a 1,000 square foot subject. That's not going to work too well. It might work in asset val. Y'all know how I feel about that, right? Some of these companies, it might work for. But your big hitters, it's most likely not going to work for Clear Capital, Zone, Protect. It's probably not going to work. And Protect will stop you from going further if your GLA is not bracketed. Protect will rather you go out 5 miles on the suburban than to unbracket your GLA. You see? So 20% is pristine, 25% of, get you in the door. 30, by all means, you better have a real good explanation why you went 30% above or below your GLA. Okay? Just comment, and explain why you're doing what you're doing. Okay? Because they might say, Distance is more important than the 20%. And they might even tell you to go 30%. Okay? But you should never go past 30% on bracketing your GLA. Okay? That's for the GLA. Now, your lot size, you got a lot of lenience with that. But the GLA and the room count, you just don't want to do that. Okay? All right. So, do we have any questions out there today? Any questions that y'all want answered while I'm live? If you have questions after the fact, guys, go ahead and ask your questions in the comment area, and I'll be sure to answer. I'm going to make sure, and if I don't, but somebody can remind me, I'm going to make sure to put you an additional 5 companies that's separate from the list of 10 in the show notes today. But if you want the list of 10, you have to go to the show notes and get the broker price opinion webinar and catch that webinar. Give me some feedback on the webinar if you want, and get the list of 10. Okay. But that's how you get more BPO work is you apply for more companies. Because just because you apply with 10 companies, it might be only 3 of those companies in your area. We don't know what area the BPO companies are in. They're actually called asset management companies. We don't know what area they're in. That's why the more you apply for and get accepted for, that's when you know that they're in your area. You see? But also, remember, the fortune is in the follow up. All right. You guys have an amazing week. Let's go get that money. And I'll see you guys on the next one.